The idea of taking up your cross and following Christ is something that we toss around a lot within Christianity, and there's a reason for that. It's got a very good image to it, given where Jesus is heading in this whole passage. But I think sometimes we kind of sugarcoat what's really being talked about here. Now, Jesus, of course, when he is talking about the cross, is talking about crucifixion, which at the time and to his listeners would not have been something that they would see as kind of this glorious sort of thing, this real sign of like piety or anything like that. They would see it as something that is humiliating, that is a sign of oppression. That is something that they really wanted to avoid. And in fact, because Jesus is talking about his death and everything, Peter is even trying to get Jesus to move away from talking about this, trying to get him to maybe do something else than head towards where God is leading him towards, what God's plan is for him. And Jesus saying, take up my cross is take up your cross and follow me is really connecting back into that. And really, what this means here is being willing to sacrifice your life to follow Jesus, to endure whatever sufferings might come as a result of that, to still follow Jesus. This is a great image for not just ministry but discipleship in general, for being a disciple of Christ in general. If you are a follower of Jesus, you're going to experience challenges. You're going to experience things that rock your faith. But in going through that and retaining your faith in God, you are in following the example of Christ in that sense. And I think that Jesus is trying to get a little bit at that point here, and it also give us a little bit more of an idea of what that looks like. This idea of giving up your life and giving of your life, especially, and not trying to kind of seek the glory that we so often seek within life. Being willing to be self-sacrificing. Even if it means costing your own life, with in the case of Jesus and many of his followers, many of the ones who were listening to him at that time, that is, of course, the cost that they were going to have to pay, and we should be willing to pay that cost as well. And we should also, approach this with a level of humility. I led off by talking about how this whole concept has kind of been turned into this sort of, Christian catchphrase that is kind of thrown around as a way of illustrating our own personal piety. That's really against the very heart of this. We should be avoiding that. We should be approaching, and following Jesus with a humble heart and a willingness to sacrifice our own selves to do the work that God is calling us to do, and to pursue after Jesus in that way. Amen. And now I'd like to invite you all to join me for our last worship song today.